So, another update. I am currently, today I have finally entered my 11th week. What's been new? I'll say that the most fastidious symptom I'm having right now is nausea. It's just constant. I wake up feeling sick and I go to bed feeling sick. It's like constant. Usually from like 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. is kind of like I feel a little better, so I'm able to go out for a walk or something, but it's just a mess. But I haven't had any cramps, no spotting. Smells is another thing. Yeah, smells are definitely giving me a hard time right now. I'm having so much trouble being with Stracciatella, and I feel so bad for her because, she doesn't really stink. It's just that it bothers me. So I feel really bad about that. Anyway, I want to talk about how things are going as far as medical visits. So I went to get blood tests. There was this student that was going to draw my blood, and I told her, I said, everyone always has a lot of trouble finding my veins, so just know that it's going to be difficult. And when I say this, I kind of hope that it discourages them from wanting to try and they'll go call someone more professional. But anyway, she wants to do it. She looks and looks and looks, she'll like tighten the rubber tube. She can't find a vein. She tries my other arm, can't find a vein. She goes back to the other arm. She says, oh, I might have got one. And I just feel like this pain. And I like make some kind of noise like, or something like that. And she's like, yeah, it was really deep. Okay. I had so many, those little tubes that they have to fill your blood with. Definitely 8, if not more. She finally does one. Then she gets another one, screws it on, and I feel another sharp pain. And then I feel it again, and I finally make another sound, like just to let her know, you're hurting me, okay? And so she's like, yeah, I have to do this because not your blood's not, okay, I can get that my blood's not coming out. That is complicated, I know. But if you're a student, some things I think that it just takes practice. From anything, like from a teacher, like you go in the classroom and there's going to be situations that you're not prepared for, that you're just going to learn by being a teacher and teaching. Same thing here, okay? She continued and she just kept on. I don't know what I didn't even look because I can't look at the needle, but it felt like she was twisting the needle back and forth inside me. That's what it felt like. After a while I said, I can't take this anymore. You're just really hurting me. She finally goes and calls someone else who was evidently a lot more experienced than her. She came and got my other arm, and something that really, really bothered me. So she had, talking about the student, filled up one of the tubes like halfway through. They needed to fill it up like completely. But that blood that she was able to get from me, she just threw it away right in front of me. I'm like, so I suffered and you got half a tube for nothing and you just threw it away. Okay. Anyway, the other doctor comes in, my other arm. Okay, she finds another vein that was deep. Okay. But other than like the normal pinch you would fill for like a blood test. Okay, so because the student was able to fill up 2 tubes and a half, so the other one did all the rest. I didn't feel pain. I didn't feel a thing. Okay, so I've had problems with both arms. It doesn't really matter which arm it is. They never can just like find a vein and like be done with it. I go home. My arm was just horrible, and it lasted. I have the pictures up to 5 days, and I was planning to like do like this long collage of all the pictures, and I just like whatever. But it lasted, I'm gonna say 11 to 12 days later. You still could see like the bruise. It wasn't pretty, and also because I work with kids, and it was just weird because obviously kids really care for weird markings on skin or anything. So a few of them kind of got like, oh, what's on your arm? It was kind of weird. And after I saw that, that it bothered them, I started putting on like some long sleeve or at least halfway sleeves while I had the lessons. So anyway, let's go for it. And all of this, I am alone. If I have like any complication, I have to go to the ER. It's not like I can call and say, is this normal? I'm gonna go on the internet. Told me several times to not go on the internet, to not believe what I see on the internet. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, you're giving me any information, so where else am I going to get it? So in all this, I've been alone with internet. Any symptoms, anything, anything that I'm not living now, but I might, probabilities. And I know that, people can say that not to be on internet because you're going to find that you have something if you read the internet. Okay. But I think it's better to know the possibilities than just to like wake up and have to live through an experience and not be in any way prepared for it. So it's been pretty lonely. I mean, in the sense I've talked to like some friends and other people that have been through, pregnancy. But as far as like medical care, I've been alone. They just like, yeah, we'll see you in a month. Bye. No way to contact them. So anyway, finally, I didn't know if the baby's okay. Finally, we get to the first ultrasound. This happened yesterday. I'm really excited. I'm more nervous than excited because I read the reviews of the clinic where I was gonna get the ultrasound. Horrible reviews. People talking about the rudeness, that people are just not sympathetic, no empathy whatsoever. I was so nervous, I'm like, wow, I'm going into like this den of, lions or something. Army has been trying to find another clinic that would have done the ultrasound, but couldn't find one unless you paid. Anyway, I was just like, you know what? This is kind of what you get, and again, like I said in my other video, I don't mean to like be offensive or anything, but I mean, this is just something that is a fact. And every single person I know and people that I don't know that have had experiences inside a hospital have really traumatic stories to tell. I mean, like, especially with the rudeness and just the way that people treat you. And I would say there's both physical abuse and mental abuse, like emotional abuse. We have the issues. We have mental abuse, physical abuse, and the rudeness is just like, sky high. I mean, it's amazing. I just sometimes I just cannot understand how people that have studied supposedly to help people and are being paid to help people can be so mean. Like, they're just evil. I'd say evil, actually. When I think of some stories I've heard, and like when I think of what my mother-in-law is going through right now in the hospital, and what my sister-in-law went in the hospital recently, and what one of my best friends went through, I would just say people are evil. Know why? Don't know what's going on in their lives, but they are evil. Anyway, I say people have been through it, and I'm just gonna pull through. Okay, I wouldn't say that the people were rude necessarily to me. I would say that my experience was better than a lot of other women, evidently. But let's just say that being overweight is not appreciated at all. So here I am thinking I'm going to do an external ultrasound. And I get there and doctor or the OB prefers to do an internal ultrasound saying that she can see more clear and everything. Okay, whatever. Anyway, the ultrasound itself went well. I like started crying when I saw our baby on screen, like moving, and I could see like it already has legs and feet and arms and hands, and she said that the heart's doing good and the brain's doing good. And when we heard the heartbeat, I mean, the thing that was like really upsetting was that screen. I was like, okay, here. She was right here next to me, like facing, like her face here is the back of her head, and the screen was like right here. And so laying down, I couldn't see it. And so she turned it to me just a second so I could see it, and then she turned it back. So all in all, I was there probably 20 minutes. I probably saw, I would say 30 seconds, out of 20 minutes of ultrasound, I got to see the screen 20 seconds. Harsh. I wanted to see everything that she was seeing. She was like walking me through it, but I couldn't see on screen. So that was kind of hard, but I'm glad that I was able to see it. Anyway, I get back home, I use the bathroom, and I see all this blood. And so I kind of got scared because I've never had spotting. Okay, blood, and then more blood. And then so I go out of the bathroom and I just try to like get a grip and say, okay, this doesn't necessarily mean something negative. I had just seen that the baby was okay. I mean, is it even possible that just like 2 hours later this is happening? And Army called the clinic and said, my wife has never experienced spotting, and it's we're just kind of weirded out that it happened right after the ultrasound. Like, is there like an explanation? They were like, oh, because her placenta's low. He's like, okay, but up till now she's never had any problems, and they said that's nothing to worry about. But if it does keep on going, go to ER. I hate when they do that, they're like, oh, it's nothing to worry about. But if it does persist, go to ER. And when they said if it persists, they just meant like an hour. So nothing to worry about, but an hour later you can go to the ER and it could be like something like really grave. So just don't tell me that it's nothing to worry about. At the very least, say it's probably nothing to worry about. Thank God it stopped. So I kind of calmed down. I didn't sleep well during the night because then the day after, which is today, we were supposed to have my first OB visit at San Pietro. So we get up at 6, get stuck in traffic, finally get there. I pay the ticket, blah, blah, blah. Actually, I didn't pay anything. That's free. But anyway, they finally called me in. Asked me questions like, normal questions like, what's your age? Your first pregnancy, blah, blah, blah. The normal questions. Okay. Then obviously the weight factor comes in. 3 different places, my weight always ends up being the big issue. I know that I'm not in the healthiest weight range right now. It's not like I think I know better than them. I just don't see why it has to be like this major spotlight of everything. Like, they'll just take this discourse and like carry it on for a lot longer than it's supposed to be. I mean, she actually told me to not eat carbs. I have like 50 grams of pasta because that's what I was doing anyway. And she was like, eat carbs about twice a week, eat carbs, and the rest just fill up on protein. That just sounded very unhealthy to me. Today, I mean, they just dragged talking about this for so long. And I was just like, I know I'm not blind. I've been watching what I eat since I've known I'm pregnant, and even before. I mean, it's just been my life, like just going up and down with my weight. I've been underweight, I've been overweight. This happened to be a period of my life where I was overweight. If all this had happened like, I don't know, 12 months earlier, I would have been in a normal weight range. I mean, it happened, and I can apologize, but anyway, it was just kind of annoying. It was just kind of annoying because, okay, you can tell me and just say, just watch what you eat, okay? Okay, that's fine. But, since they just kept on like dragging on this conversation, I was kind of like over with it. 3 doctors and all. They were so excited that they had like, like those little portable, I don't know what you call them, but anyway, the heart detectors, I guess. Like, you can hear the baby's heartbeat with this little microphone. I mean, I know that you can buy them like to have in your house. And they were like so super psyched about having one. So they were like, oh, who knows if we can hear the heartbeat? Obviously I was happy. Oh yeah, because then I told them right away. I was like, they were like, do you have any complications? I'm like, I told them about, the bleeding, and they're like, oh, it's nothing to worry about. When they give me like these super quick responses, it just makes me nervous because I would like to just have a little more like interest, like how much, how long did it last? When you try to tell them and they're just like, oh, it's nothing to worry about, it just kind of makes me nervous. Anyway, moving along, the youngest girl wanted to see the heartbeat. Okay, this is what got me kind of like, I won't say mad, but it like kind of like disturbed me. I was disturbed by this. So she was like, she checked and checked and checked and checked. And besides, the oldest of the 3 had already said that they probably weren't going to detect a heartbeat at this early stage. I don't know if that's correct. If it's not, I don't know. It just lasted for so long. She was so impatient. All of a sudden she was like, there it is. You hear it? I couldn't hear anything different than what I've been hearing for the last 7 minutes. She was like, okay, great. And she said, you can, like get dressed or whatever. So I was getting dressed. I hear her go out the door, and the other 2 doctors were right outside, and they said, did you get the heartbeat? She said, no. So I'm like, why on earth did you say, there it is? Did you hear it? I mean, like, are you trying to like mess with me? Were you just like embarrassed that you didn't detect it and you were trying to convince me? But anyway, so I can hear you. I had just gotten dressed. I was trying to put my shoes on. All 3 of them rushed towards me and say, okay, I'm going to try again. Then it kind of got me, worried because I'm like, is it normal to not detect it at this stage in pregnancy, or is it not? I mean, I just didn't know. So I have 3 doctors pressing on my stomach, trying in every position possible. Like, they move the microphone all over me, trying to get this heartbeat. I was like, please find this heartbeat or give up. Just give up. They were like so determined. I mean, that lasted forever. I'll say that the whole visit lasted 40 minutes. And I'll say that 20 minutes were spent on trying to find this heartbeat. And I'm like, okay, if it's important, because if you don't hear it, it's like dangerous. Like, the baby could not be okay. That's one thing. If not, because then they said that it's very possible that they're not going to detect anything because it's too early. If that's possible that it's too early and that's why you're not hearing it, maybe it's time to give up. They weren't giving up. Finally, they said, there it is. They finally stopped. Finally, I get back. We're back to the table, and they're like, filling out these prescriptions and I'll get this and get this and get this and we would recommend you do this. And I just think that they just gave me a ridiculous amount of things to do. I only asked, why was it so essential that I do a certain group of blood tests? I was just trying to understand, like, why was it important? And they kind of got annoyed at my questioning, like, are you questioning what we're giving you to do? So they were like fairly nice. I'll say that they were nice people up until that point. Like, as soon as I started like wanting to understand, like, what's this for, what's that for, like, their attitude completely changed. They were just annoyed. And then I said, I'm here, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to speak to, another doctor again. I'm just gonna, take advantage. And I'm trying to ask them, like, because, all this time they asked me questions, and I had to answer them. I mean, the only question that I was actually able to ask was, about the bleeding, which lasted probably like 2 seconds because all she said was, no, nothing to worry about. I just, wanted to know. I do physical activity. She was like, I wouldn't do a lot of movements. So it was just kind of, after that, I just had this sense of, I don't know. I was like, I had to cry after that. I had to cry because I've just felt, medically speaking, so lonely in this pregnancy so far. They have a lot of questions for you. They want you to do all these series of blood tests. But when I'm the one who wants to ask them, and I want to be informed, and I want to know what I can eat, what I can't eat, what movements can I do. It's not like they say, okay, here's my number. If anything happens, call me or anything. I'm supposed to call like a general number that's going to pass me some OB that's going to ask me the same questions because she doesn't know who I am. She doesn't know my history. This rudeness that just like keeps on popping up. Today I was really hopeful. Because, they at the beginning, they were all like kind of nice. And I'm like, why do you just like, it was like a total flip. I don't even know. It was just like the switch. I mean, they actually looked super annoyed that I was still there. They were just like, okay, we'll see you in a month. Bye. Just like, get out of here. Time's up. So I got home finally and I just like prayed and cried because I just feel so overwhelmed with this. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. So far, I have talked to 8 different OBs, and everyone in some form or way was rude to me. Or with comments, some more than others. I'm like just downright nasty. I know that's how things are at the moment. It's just hard to bear with it sometimes. And I know that other people have had it much worse than me, so it's not like I'm complaining or I feel like I'm being singled out or something, or that I'm experiencing something so traumatic. But at the same time, it is hard, especially when I would like to know things are going well. That's the only reason I would ever go to any appointment, is to see how the pregnancy is going along and how my baby is. I'm not there to be interrogated over and over and over again. So that is what is happening now. 11 weeks today. I really hope that things are going to get better, or at least that I'll have some positive experiences. Till next time.